At
Yeah, we'll
Mega
head off into
Mapping
the main
Survey
topic from there.
Solutions,
Sounds
we
good. Yeah,
transform
thank you so
elevation
much. It's
data
great
into
to be
powerful
here.
3D
Let's see,
flood
I'm Shay
visualizations
Strong.
that
I'm
help
the Vice
planners,
President of Analytics at
engineers,
ISI. It's a
developers, and
relatively new role
communities
for me.
understand
I guess
flood
I'm
risks
coming up on
before
my year
development begin.
anniversary, so I joined last November during COVID. But I guess in general, SAR is very new to me, and ISI is all about SAR. But really, before that, I came from an astrophysics background. So I got my PhD at University of Texas in Austin, focusing on climatological studies of gas giant planets. And quite honestly, I had a pretty bad graduate school experience. I think I would say just maybe unmotivating and not a really good support group there. So I think I kind of came out of that wondering what else there was. I mean, I think there's a lot of value in research for research's sake, but I think for me, I was looking for something more, maybe something more timely and applied. And conveniently had a grad student office mate who got a job at Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Lab in Baltimore in the US. And she helped me get my foot in the door there. And I got to join a great team there working on developing national security space satellites and systems. Really good experience from kind of transitioning from this more academic community to a real world solution and solving critical problems for specific applications. But then I was there for maybe 7 or so years, and I think my experience with kind of in that government contract space and government projects can be really hard for early career people to come in with really interesting, novel, agile ideas. I think there's a lot of legacy, and maybe rightfully so, but it's a bit of a challenge. And so I was looking for a new transition, and I joined my first ever startup in Washington D.C. called OmniEarth, and this was 2014, and I became the first data scientist out of that org. And it was like around this time when the world was really salivating over data scientists. And quite honestly, I had no clue what a data scientist was. But come to find out, it's exactly what I tried to sell myself as leaving grad school. Like I can compute things, and I can write code, and I can analyze data, and I can do observations. And really that turns out to be a data scientist. And so I built that team there in DC, really focused on creating a solution around predicting water usage in the US, like very focused on southwestern part of the US. So using satellite and aerial imagery. And at the time, of course, like TensorFlow was being open source. There was a lot of great new deep learning research, and we were able to create some really nice cloud-based pipelines to extract information about land use, land cover, and then project water usage. And this turned out to be a really cool solution that targeted a specific need. And then that was a big success. And the company got acquired, and I moved over from Washington, D.C. across the US to Seattle and joined a company called EagleView that was more focused on aerial imagery acquisitions, but also interested in these applied use cases of, how can you use imagery to extract meaningful information for insurance or government? And I was there for a period of time, build out a team of roughly maybe 40 plus people, kind of between India and the US. And I got this amazing call that ISI was interested in speaking with me. And I was a little bit confused first over who ISI was and what they were trying to do. But the more I learned, the more I just got incredibly excited and motivated to join their team in Finland. So that was a pretty dramatic move for me. And that circles me back to here and now, and located in Finland and working to build the team at ISI on the solutions and analytics side.
Wow, you have come a really long way. Would you mind just briefly clarifying for us what is ISI and what do they do?
Yes, yeah. I mean, ISA is a really interesting company. So foundationally, it's a synthetic aperture radar satellite company. So build and launch a constellation of small SAR satellites. So these are less than 100 kilograms in mass systems. So very agile, very small, relatively inexpensive. And the cool thing about ISI is that the founders came out of right out of university. Literally, the office is still on the university campus, and the founders they were the first to ever miniaturize the SAR technology required for this domain. And incredibly novel because historically, like SAR has been around a while. I think you've definitely had other speakers comment to this previously, but well back into the 50s, like the technology's been there. It's been very government centric, but it's been big, it's been massive. And so the founders, revolutionized the engine on the engineering side. We are now at a constellation of 14 small sats that are operational today in space. And then now, like where that leaves us as an organization is like we don't want to just cell data, cell pixels, cell images. I mean, I think that has a very specific market, but it can be a bit limiting. And then, going to the other end of like, well, how can we better use the data